So hello and welcome to this very first timeless reading on this channel. So today we will have a life path reading and we will go down into the depths of your gifts, your talents, why things do keep happening the way they do probably in your life, and all sorts of these questions. So also maybe some advice how you can pursue your true purpose and your life path, and also of course tapping into some of the current influences and where you are at kind of on this timeline of your life path. So in case you're new to this channel, hello, my name is Julia. On this channel I like to do tarot pick a card and other types of tarot videos, and I'm also a huge astrology enthusiast, so I like to combine tarot, stars and the spirit to provide you the most accurate reading possible. And the procedure is going to be the same as always, so we'll have these 4 groups right here. And now without further ado, let's jump into the group selection, meditate on your crystals and see you in your reading. So hello and welcome to today's group selection. So this is going to be a timeless reading. Whenever this reading finds you is the right time to receive it. And I will show you the crystals up closer as always. And we will start with group number 1 from this side. This is going to be group number 2, group number 3, and group number 4. So let's take a look at this crystal for group number 1, which is kind of a pendant wrapped in wire, so it can be worn. Then we have group number 2. Oh, we're having some issues with focus today, I see. Here we go. It kind of has these little sparkly bits in there. And then we have group number 3. You probably can hear in the background my cat, which, like, she has made her appearance already on this channel. And sometimes she does, sometimes she does not join the readings. I think today is going to be one of the days when she does. So this is group number 4. And now let's take our 3 deep conscious breaths. And I like to rest my feet on the ground when doing this, and to rest the palms just on the upper thighs. And when you inhale, feel how the air is flowing through your body, how your belly is expanding. And exhale and feel how it goes back in. And inhale again. And exhale. And we will inhale once more and exhale. And now let your gaze wander across the groups, across the crystals. And you can ask yourself either out loud or in your mind, what is my life path? What is my purpose? What do I need to know about my life path? And just try to sense out which stone you feel more drawn to with your gut feeling. So try to choose not so much with the eye or the conscious mind, but more with what your gut feeling is saying. And if you need to, you can, as always, pause the video longer to meditate a little bit on the crystals. And as soon as you're ready, just head down to the description box and click on the according timestamp and see you in your reading. So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 1. So let's put the other groups to the side. And if you chose this crystal right here, then this is going to be your life path reading. And I'm really excited. This is the very first timeless reading we are doing on this channel here, and that means that whenever you find this video or this video finds you and you have landed here, that is the right time to receive this reading. So for you, I feel like using the Rider-Waite deck. And we will now just give these cards a good shuffle again, and then hopefully find out some more details about your gifts, about your purpose, where you are aiming to go. some of that information you might already know, and maybe you will also discover something new during this reading. Let's see. So, interesting. Very first card is the Ten of Cups, so very interesting. Seems like you currently are in a very blessed, a very complete place emotionally, group number 1. So, and now, let's see. And I am very, very curious how this reading will work out for you guys. So definitely, if you feel comfortable sharing these personal things in the comment section below, just give me maybe some response how this resonated with you, because it's very interesting to find out in these readings, because they are general and we cannot go down every individual detail in your readings. By the way, back of the deck is High Priestess in reverse. And let's just see. Wow, very interesting. Group number 1. So what I get with you, that you definitely are, you know, at some stage of, or you are feeling as if you are at some stage of completion. And let me just check. I get some very major water sign energy with you. Water and earth, so much. Yeah, we have Neptune here and Virgo in 2nd house. How interesting. How interesting. So you might indeed be, by the way, people who are working in a field where you are aiding others, or at least that is really something that I feel for you might be your life path, your big purpose in life, healing and supporting others. So you might be even like in the medical field, maybe even. But also in, actually some of you might even be tarot readers yourself, or at least be very interested in those topics, or being astrologers as well. You know, but I get that you have a very intuitive energy, but you also have this, also with the Ten of Wands appearing here in the section, which also talks about relationships and family, and also your emotional ways. You know, I feel like you are definitely taking on the burden of other people quite often, group number 1. And with the Ace of Cups reversed here in this position, I get that whatever you are making your income with is something where you are very emotionally connected. So you also, some of you might also have a very creative talents as well, and that might go hand in hand. You know, you might be maybe working even in something like art therapy or things like that, where you help other people to find their creative source. You also have 2 aces showing up in your reading, which is very, very interesting. We have the Ace of Pentacles here in this position, which talks about, you know, ambitions and your social life, basically. And I get that you are somebody who definitely is ambitious in their career goals, and this is why I also maybe got like that very earth vibe. I think you are somebody who people rely on. People rely on you, and that's actually something that comes very natural to you, providing for people also in some sort. And the thing is, with the Devil card showing up here, which also can designate a Capricorn placement, by the way, but it's showing up here is definitely that I get that you probably have often been on the side where you might have felt taken advantage of, or that you've been bound to patterns that were not healthy or serving you well. Like I get some troubled relationship when it comes to you know, habits, relationship patterns, etc., that you might have been driven to and been coming back to something that indeed has not been for you a good place to sit with. And with the Knight of Wands, though, in this position here, I get that you are a very enthusiastic person. You have a lot of passion towards the things you do, and you also, I think what has always gotten you back up on your feet after these events here as well. And sometimes when you even have had moments when you didn't find that fulfillment, and when finding fulfillment or tapping into your intuition has been difficult for you, what has always carried you on, I feel, group number one, is and does to this moment, I feel this is a very major ray that is shed like on this entire reading, to be honest, that you are like that type of person who gets back up on the feet, and curiosity wins in the end to find out what follows after that challenge and after those hard times, what's next, what's coming next. And in the end, that has always won you over and brought you back on track. And also, what is very, very interesting, I clearly see here with the eight coming up here again, like it is a very karmic number, to be honest, when we go to numerology, and it's strength reversed. Here we also have this 8 and symbol kind of appearing here, which is also like the infinity symbol, but like this is why the 8 also numerologically carries this very, very karmic energy to it, and it's in a position which denotes kind of an act by a higher force, which is out of your control, an influence that you don't control, but that is very influential in your life. And I feel like you have this very major theme of overcoming obstacles, and you are good at it, and you're always challenged to do so while learning how to actually make it to the finish line without collapsing before. Because I think this is something you might have experienced quite often in your past, group number one. And if not all of you, for some of you definitely have, that you have sometimes carried all this load and tried to make it in the most efficient, effective, and best way possible. And it has even not been your load. And you have just, slipped by this point of collapsing and not making it to the finish line. And sometimes you might have even had that moment, and then you relearned and adjusted, and in the end you made it to a successful end, but with a workaround that you learned through that situation. Also, what is very interesting when it comes to your, let's say, character and disposition, I feel like you are somebody who, it plays all very nicely together. Like, I bet that you have a Virgo in your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Most of you have that placement. Or also, you could also have Pisces in there. I get that you are people, who have a hard time resting, either physically or emotionally or both. And that ties in nicely into this scheme that I was describing before. And honestly, what I think, though, also with the Five of Wands appearing here, why you are constantly getting into these situations where you are urged to learn and to adjust and kind of prove your standpoint, I think that you, group number one, are people who you have a very important task, I feel, when it comes to your place in society or just in social life around you or in the world. I feel that you have that place where you are able to bring people together, where you can inspire people to find the solution that they are looking for, to find the answer that they are looking for. Also, sometimes I feel like you are also excellent mediators. A lot of you have a very distinct skill of bringing people who are not agreeing or are bumming heads and trying to prove their point only and have zero empathy in that situation. I feel like you are able to induce that in a situation. You are able to kind of kickstart a flow of things into a different direction, in a more compassionate direction, in a direction which is more fruitful and more progressive. So I think you have a very important and very, very interesting talent of really walking in all participants' shoes, and then bringing them to one table and getting all of them to do the same with each other, which is, on the other hand, a skill that is very, very draining. It takes a lot of learning and a lot of endurance to get to a point where you can really use this skill in a very effective way, group number one. And I think, though, that you currently, I think you are on the verge of kind of stepping into this. I think you have a big portion of experience under your belt now already, and I feel for you it is now about getting deeper with your intuition and maybe focusing also a little bit more on what is actually that makes you feel peaceful, that makes you feel whole, that makes you being settled in the particular place in the world where you feel right and where you feel connected and just doing the things that you are supposed to do. So when it comes to education, I think group number 1, I think that you might be very well off kind of doing stuff like project management in a sense, or something where you have this team together bringing aspect, not necessarily only leading. I get some of you might have even, especially if you have like kind of a Capricorn placement there somewhere, or even with Virgo, the thing is, I get that you have a spark of leadership somewhere in there, but what I think is still a component that you are developing yet is that you need to kind of find your way of standing your ground and really protecting yourself first and really setting your boundaries in a functional way for both you and the outer world. And I think then you can very, very successfully tap into this leadership position. And as I said previously, I think you are very gifted in work that is psychological, that is artistic also, that is creative, but most of all you are very gifted when it comes to bringing people together somehow. I get that a lot. And with the King of Swords reversed here, group number 1, I think that what it takes is that you sometimes really don't be afraid to be a little bit more direct when communicating your needs or your standpoint. I feel that is also something some people might mistake you for being way more soft and being able to shoulder way less than you actually can, group number 1. So I think this is a very, very important point for you. I feel like for you it is a lot about finding that energy to kind of stand your ground and make the impression that really matches the reality of who you are and what your skills are and what you bring to the table. So let's now maybe pull, let's see, a card as advice, because I feel like for you, your reading I feel is very clear and very... It gives a very clear picture and also a lot of guidance, I feel. Still, I would like to pull maybe, let's see from which deck, a card for guidance and for advice. Give me a second. I think I want to use the Elemental Power Tarot for you. And let me see, what advice for group number 1? What advice to align themselves with their highest self, with their purpose? How can they align themselves with their purpose? How can they align themselves with their purpose? So let's see. Okay, just want to have it a little bit more clear. Yeah, I feel like this reading has already been like very, very clear for you, group number 1. So we get the... I believe this is the Queen of Swords in this deck. And let me just go into the guidebook, because this deck comes with a lot of interesting and inspiring snippets there. But with the... Yeah, with the Queen of Swords and her coming up reversed for you here, I feel it also might for you... looking now also to the High Priestess, which is reversed, I feel like for you it is very crucial to meet that line which I was talking about, where you can be both keeping yourself healthy and functional, but also be there for others in a way which is long-term and long-lasting. I think when you achieve that, and when you learn to not overburden yourself and tap into this compassion and this empathy and this helpful energy in environments where this is needed most and where this also is most fruitful and promising. I feel this is when you also will be able to kind of tap into a whole new level of your intuition and your knowledge. And I think this will level up your emotional intelligence even deeper and even more. So let's now just check what also the guidebook has to say about this. So, water of air, the nurturer of communication. Your heart is longing to be heard, and you have the emotional clarity to put its emanations into words. There may be feelings you've had trouble understanding for months or years that can now be brought into focus. This is an excellent time for healing old wounds, updating self-talk and self-care routines, and clearing up messy relationships. This one here. Journaling can help you to get your point of view sharpened before sharing with others, if you choose. You are the most important recipient of your clarity. And the challenge in this card is expressing emotions can be scary. So yeah, you know, about this more direct way of communication about things, your needs. Know that showing vulnerability is possibly the greatest display of strength available to us. Stand tall in your truth and trust that the universe will support you. So I think this ties in nicely with what I said previously also in relation to the King of Swords. Oh, okay, a little bit messy here, but okay, good. It's just a few boxes that fell apart. But yes, group number 1, I feel like your reading was very interesting, and I just get an energy which is very active, very driven, and it's just I feel like for you sometimes taking a step back and looking at things from a more calm perspective, a little bit more detached, not in a bad way, but you know, like a little bit of disconnection, I feel sometimes might be beneficial for you and giving you that break that you need in order to grow. So group number 1, thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello and welcome to your reading group number 2. So if you chose this stone right here, this crystal, then this is going to be your life path reading. So I am very excited. This is a timeless reading, which means whenever this video finds you and you click on it and end up here, is just the right time to receive all this information in this reading. So let's see. For you, I feel like using the Illuminated Tarot, and we're also filming at a very beautiful hour here in the studio, which kind of casts these little rainbows here, which I like a lot. Gives this whole thing a different vibe, a very beautiful vibe, I feel. So let's see, group number 2. An interesting stone you have there. I feel you might be actually a cardinal sign. So very interesting. Get strong cardinal energy here. So let's see. So in this reading we will kind of tap into, you know, your gifts, where you are standing also in your timeline currently when it comes to your life path. At which point are you there? And I'm giving these cards a very proper shuffle to really tap into your group's energy, because it's a lot of very important information that spans not only to or over a short amount of time, but it's your life path, you know, it's something way bigger. So let's see. And I feel you might also be someone who, let's see, some of you might be also multi-talented, I get. And I don't know, like even not a single card has come out yet, and I'm like having all these thoughts. So very interesting. You also might be maybe someone who is not very disclosing about their ideas and maybe about their inner world, you know. So let's just see. I want to try and put this as aesthetically pleasing as possible. So yes, so back of the deck, death. Interesting. So you might be actually really Scorpios. Let me see what the dominant energies for you are here. We have Aquarius, Moon, and First. Okay. Which still, you know, it resonates with the fixed energy, like cardinal or fixed. We have the Hermit here, which denotes, could denote Virgo as well. We have, very interesting, we already have, you could have all kinds of different signs, to be honest, but I get some of you are Scorpios, because you have this very, I think, transformational character in your life path, which is a lot about transforming, finding rebirth, exploring, also learning to deal with this feeling of shedding your old self and really tapping into this new self. So very interesting. And we have so many like major arcana here with you. A very interesting Six of Swords. You definitely are also guided people, with a lot of spirit guides in your presence and going with you. Also, I feel like you are people who seek learning and education through experience, learning by doing it. Also, you might be somebody who learns through traveling, actually. You might have also gone or be about to go or already be studying abroad at this moment, or living there for that purpose. You also, I think you are somebody who also, when it comes to relationships and partnership, I think you are not quickly to settle, most of you. I feel that you are, also some of you might just be, might be just not in the process yet to settle down. I feel like this is going to take time for you, because you really, I think you might have also some, as I said, it's very interesting. With Aquarius though, and the moon being here, oh, I just put the cube in and flipped it. But with the moon being there, you know, I feel like for you, it's a lot about social life, about connection. And on the other hand, I think what you don't disclose fully to people is that you deal with all sorts of disappointments or resentments very much alone. I don't think that you are the person to start, you know, causing drama or starting a fight about somebody, sometimes even treating you really not the way that you should be treated, but you would be the person that just, you know, cuts them off at some point in time and just detaches from that relationship. But you will not, most of you will, I think, not have the tendency to confront people with this. And very interesting, with the Page of Pentacles in reverse here in the position of past influences, I feel like you might have also been somebody who has been struggling with traditional and conventional education. I get that. And I get that you are, as I said, you are people who I think just by nature don't fit well with that system that is established in basically all around the world, which is like with the traditional path of education, with school and then high school and then university, for instance. I feel like you have taken maybe an alternative path there, which though nevertheless is giving you you know, a success in that field wherever you are in. But I feel for you, it's also very much that you have very clearly felt in life this principle of you reap what you sow, basically. And I feel that both when you deal with people, you get that karma blasted back a lot. How you treat others, you get it back, which might also be why you sometimes aren't as confrontational as you even might sometimes better be, just for the sake of your well-being. But I feel also when others do you wrong, I feel that they get it back in return as well, sooner or later. So with the Justice card here, I get a lot of that energy, which is, as I said, very, at least when it comes to work and personal development as well, and just the nature of you, how you are creating, pursuing, pushing things. I feel you are somebody who is an initiator. You are an initiator, and I think you are highly creative when it comes to that. I think you Which doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be an artist or a musician, for instance. It's just that I think you have a very creative way to find solutions and to go about work, which is something that isn't found very commonly in people, and which is a very useful skill. But as I said, I think life has taken you already down a few paths which had required you to be reborn again and again and again and try it out differently again and again. And I feel like now you are kind of in another transition, in another transformation. You are kind of going into this deep end, maybe into the shadow side of things, you know, where I often refer to the shadow side and the light side not being dark or bright by nature, but it's just about the state, how light is shed on either your character or in a situation. It's the shadow side is just basically not better or worse in its nature. It's just the one that is not lit so directly and not so visible directly, and we need to first find a way to get there, and sometimes we gotta grab our lantern and head out for that journey. And I feel that you are somewhat in that right now, in midst of a process there. And also, interestingly enough, with when it comes, I think, to money and to material things, I feel that you might have, let me see. Yeah, I feel like you are somebody who is very much also prone. Also, we have, you know, Cancer showing up here, and we have the moon in that position there. Very interesting. I feel like you have this influence that is very targeted towards nurturing others and also creating safety for yourself and also for people you care about. I think safety is a very major aspect in your life in some sense, which kind of rubs against this transformational nature that your path gives you. So I think when it comes also to money and possessions and material costs, cost, and I get cost somehow. When it gets to that, I feel that for you it's a very tricky topic, because I think even when you have enough, you feel like you are in lack, or you live in lack because you give away of that a lot, I feel. And on the other hand, I really think that when it comes to also your gifts and blessings, I think you might be skilled in a lot of different fields, but I definitely get that you are a very sharp analytical mind. You are a good observer, group number 2. I think you are good observers. You are able to learn fast as well. I think you might even have sometimes the situation that you know, also with the Ace of Swords being there, I think that you sometimes might also have the feeling that, and not to sound arrogant or like looking down on others here, but I feel like you sometimes feel like your mind is quicker and faster pacing and just thinking in ways in which other minds often don't function even, and they just don't get to that capacity and pace for different reasons. It's not about somebody else being stupid, it's just that maybe they have other priorities and other talents and other things that they cultivated. And you, I think for you, it was very early in life about learning about things. And really, I think at some point in your life, it was a very strong need for you to really get good at observing and learning things fast. So might not resonate with all of you, but for some, I get this is really an important thing. And also, when it comes to your character, I think you are somebody who is, you know, also with the Page of Wands appearing here, and with the Seven of Cups there, I think you are somebody who is also sometimes, as I said previously, I feel like you in the past, you might have fallen for, not like, I get deception, but not in the way that somebody necessarily deceived you. I just feel that sometimes you fell for illusions of things because you were intrigued by them. And that's very often, honestly, to be fair, group number 2, very often the only way to find out if something is true, if something is sustainable or not. Most often you could talk to plenty of people, they will all say different things, and then you just gotta go and try out. And that sometimes blesses you with immense success and irreplaceable experience, and sometimes that blesses you with a lesson. And I feel that you have gotten a taste of both pills, group number 2, so far. But I think for you, it also is that you currently are maybe in a stage of realizing that often things are just not that black and white. And I think sometimes, as much as you might have that nature of seeing things like that, like it is either one way or the other, I feel like you right now, through which circumstance I cannot tell because it's very individual and this is a general reading, but something or someone or some situation, I think, has brought you to a point where this worldview is kind of challenged with you. And I feel with the Magician in reverse appearing there, first off, I think that with the Ace of Swords in this position, which is talking also about karmic things, I feel like for you a general theme in life, and I'm now more certain of that than ever with Death being the back here and with the Ace of Swords, the Magician appearing here, a very major theme for you is new beginnings. Also not to forget the Page of Wands. It is new beginnings in education. I think this ongoing learning and exploration, I think for you, maybe as a child, it started out as a blessing because you were very curious about the world, very interested. And then you grow into adulthood and you realize that, oh, that comes with a lot of challenges indeed. You get distracted often. You sometimes just... also, some of you might have a slightly hot-headed character, to be honest. And not hot-headed in a way that it shows through. I think some of the placements that are more, about, let's see, that are like more internal and or short-termed. I think those are, or maybe even with, you might have a fire Mars or something. It's very interesting energy here. Like I get some of you sometimes have your hot-headed moments, even though you are very balanced and very careful and very wise in most of the cases. But I think exactly those cases when you kind of fall out of that pattern, those are the situations where I think you are urged to look closer to what made you fall out of your usual so balanced and considerate natural. Because I think those are important signs. And with the Magician in reverse there, I think you are getting more awareness of how situations have this ambivalence to them, this duality to them, that they are not 100% clear most of the time in life. And I think this is kind of the next step where you are evolutioning. And also, in fact, group number 2, I feel that some of you might make amazing teachers. And I think if you master or work more with this very considerate use of your tools and really acknowledging like how am I using now my knowledge, how am I using now my skill set, for which purpose am I using that? If you get this awareness and sharpen it, because I think you are people who are very focused on the topic of fairness and justice and fair distribution and fair treatment. I think if you go more open-minded and not so, cardinal and strict about it, I think that might help you to figure out a way to change things which is long-lasting and also more sustainable for you. Group number 2. I think you are people who are really here to change things in the world, to change ways how things in the world function. And I think that all these lessons that you have gone through and all the times you have shed your skin were for that purpose of strengthening you and preparing you for this path. So I get also lots of you who chose this group, you might be kind of in your 30s, late 20s, maybe mid 30s. And I think you are now kind of getting into this energy of your actual purpose. And now like everything so far has been preparation and now you are about to embark on the real deal, And let me just see, I want to pull some advice for you from the Elemental Power Tarot deck, just so we can see how you can come into your life purpose more. So, whoop. two cards came out for you. So we have the Emperor reversed here, and we have the Six of Wands reversed. Very, very interesting. Because that kind of resonates with the energy that I get. That is kind of, you know, questioning dogmatic things, questioning established things, yet also definitely learned a lot about their ways and even worked or currently works in them. And when it comes to fields, I think you also, some of you might even literally work in the justiciary system. So in the judicative system, or whatever the right term would be, so everything related to literal justice, I think, and justice instances. And for some of you also, I get that you might work, as I said, in the field of teaching, in the pedagogical field. So, and I mean, you know, you are really good at analyzing. You are good at analyzing, I see, and you are wonderful observers. So some of you might make actually amazing detectives or people in that area, like also working in forensics, maybe. Let's see. But I think these are the fields that show up here related for you, group number 2. And let's now just see, especially with, you know, with the Six of Wands here, I feel that you are somebody who really, you need to find your way of, sometimes when you also get into quarrels or in discussions or disputes, I feel sometimes it's not so simple as just seeing, okay, where is my standpoint, what is my experience, what is my worldview, how does that align with the situation, okay, it's opposing it, so I'm against it. It's aligning with it, so I'm for it. Sometimes things are more deeper than that, and solutions are not as simple as that. And I think that this is something where you might be currently kind of in a point of evolution and figuring these things out for you. And the Emperor reverse, let's just look into the guidebook, because this deck comes with a guidebook with a lot of inspiring messages, I feel. And we, by the way, have Aries popping up here. So, as I said, you might have, you know, in strength assigned to Leo. I feel some of you might have a fire Mars or like a placement like that. So, let's see. So, set your sights, make a plan, and lead the way to building your future. You stand in a meticulous modernist interior. Everything has been carefully planned and executed, from the structure itself to the decorative finishes. Through a window you can see a rugged landscape, a reminder of how much work has gone into the construction and building of this place. All that experience and all those lessons you went through. A ram gazes back at you, the original master of this rough terrain. So, just bringing you that card a little bit closer. You can see the ram there in the forest. So, the guidance with this card is your vision boards are paying off. Knowing exactly what you want is the first step to making it real, and you have the power now to make it very real. Choose your grandest plan and start assembling the team you need to put the pieces in place. You set the tone and the pace, so be sure that you model the behavior and work ethic you want to see around you. If this feels insurmountable, break it up into pieces. Set a plan for your day and be disciplined about sticking to it. Formulate goals that are complex but can be accomplished in a short amount of time by you alone or a small group. Allow these to expand as your skill increases. And the challenge is that leadership does not come naturally to all. Conversely, some find it all too easy to exert their will to control others. A balance must be found. A tentative leadership will only muddy the waters, while too heavy a hand leads to tyranny. Assess where your behavior falls early and often. Yes, and I feel this very much complements what I said earlier in the reading, because this is the thing. I feel you really accumulated a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, and I get that you are, as I said, you are here to change the things and the ways how particular aspects in the world and life function. And I think you are up for that and you're getting prepared for that. But now that step is finding the balance, balancing things out. Things are not so black and white. Sometimes the solutions are not as simple, and it's not as easy to decide how much you should interfere in some places and in which way. But overall, group number 2, I see you heading into a very strong place, a very strong place, a very wise place, a very impactful place. So, dear group number 2, thank you so much for tuning into this reading. I had an amazing time, and I wish you a lot of endurance, a lot of success, and just give yourself a breather now and then. The transformation you're going through right now is not an easy one, but it's going to be probably one of the most impactful ones in your life. So thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 3. So if you chose this crystal right here, this amethyst pendant, then this is going to be your life path reading. And for you, I feel like using the Druid Tarot, and I'm very, very excited for this reading. It's the very first timeless reading on this channel, and timeless means whenever this video finds you and you click on it and end up here, then it's the right time to receive all the information in this reading. And we will now just tap into your gifts, your areas of life where you are particularly blessed, and also what challenges are maybe awaiting you, also why things maybe keep happening the way they do to you. So very, very interesting. And oh, we have a flip here. Ace of Wands reversed. I feel like you, group number 3, you might be right now in a stage where you actually, I get you are hesitant about a new beginning, because in the past you might have been faced with, like, you might have gone quite extreme in situations, I feel, at times. And I feel, you know, the thing is that by that, I feel you are very interesting. The cards are just popping out like that for you. Oh my god, like, I feel for you so much is going on currently. Feel like these need to go back. So we have the Knight of Pentacles. We have the Page of Wands here. Very interesting. I feel you might be somebody also working in something really connected to monetary things, I get. Also with the Knight of Pence there, you know, let's now see, let's lay out the rest of the cards. But for you, I get like a very noisy, a very loud energy somehow. Very noisy, very loud. Are you loud talkers, maybe? But overall, I feel like you, currently your mind is super, super busy, group number 3. A lot is on your mind currently. And always, if you don't feel like this reading resonates with you, you know, at no point, then feel free to choose another group, because sometimes it's not so easy. We have King of Cups as the back of the deck, by the way. It's sometimes not so, you know, it's a general reading, and sometimes messages for you are maybe hidden even in another group. You might even have felt drawn to a different group than this one. So just feel free to check that out maybe too. Maybe there are some messages for you as well. And what I get with you, as I said, I feel you're hesitant about some new beginning. I can tell you though that I think that when it comes to property and money and recognition in career, I think you are getting or about to get the recognition that you actually deserve. And I get that. I think you are people who are very much of a providing nature, and I think you are very much family people. You are family people, and I feel for you, sometimes taking a change or a new opportunity or rebirth comes with, I think in your perspective, with a lot of risks. And I think you have this, like, I get this, I have a lot to lose mentality there. And let me just see what energies are dominant here. Yeah, we have Taurus, Venus, 4th house. I get you guys, you might have Taurus in your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus, and you might also I'm by now quite sure you are working in either like real estate or something sales related or something really money related. And on the other hand, you also might be self-employed, owning a business, maybe also having a lot of responsibility for other families. With the Page of Wands, though, the thing is that I feel like when it comes to your emotional grounds and your relationship, you have a quite explorative nature. In fact, I feel like you might have some Fire Venus placements as well, or you might have also, yeah, I feel like you might have that there. And the thing is that I feel this sometimes also might have been or might be just across your life a challenging situation where you kind of have the choice between responsibility and adventure and play. And with here having the Page of Cups in this position, I feel that sometimes when it comes to confrontational situations or to ambitions, I feel that you are somewhat of a person who, as practical and pragmatic you are in other things, when it comes to this, I feel you are somebody who really isn't maybe that mature mature yet, especially when it comes to expressing or communicating your emotions. I feel like that is something quite challenging for you. And I feel that this is something which I get that you can, like, what I get is, don't confuse keeping silent about emotions or not expressing them for stability in your emotional realm. I think those two things are very easily mistaken with you. And also very, very interesting when it comes, I think, to your manner of actually dealing with things globally in life overall. You are definitely like a hands-on type of person, like a with a Knight of Wands here, somebody who is very enthusiastic and ambitious in their actions, I think. Like, in fact, I think you have an ambitious nature. But when it comes to difficult points there, I feel you are sometimes way too easy to hide away and turn away and kind of solve things in a way where you kind of don't proceed with that attitude when it gets challenging. Though honestly, especially in work, I think you're somebody who's not afraid of challenge, not at all. Yeah, but also I feel that some of your resources and some of the potential that you have kind of is in danger at times to just stay unused and not like stay locked and just kind of rot away in that place of not being used, not being grown, not being forged to something practical and real. And I think that finding connection with people in a way that is, let's say, I think for you, group number 3, it is very important to find community and to find connection with people in a way that is kind of sorts of people who nurture you and your visions and your ideas. Because I think when it comes to recognition, you get it. But I think what is important for you is somebody who encourages you in your very personal dreams, in your personal agenda, and in your personal potential. I think that is very important. And I think that is something that might have not been met yet in your life so well, or you have not really tried to establish that so far, to an extent how maybe it would be very important for you to do, group number 3. And overall, I get also, with we have earth vibes here, but I get also like a water placement. Let me see, we have Virgo 5th and North Node. Yeah, see this caring thing and caring for others a lot. I think for you it is important to also find a particular balance where you get the same care that you put out there for people to get it back, to really get it back for once, also on that emotional level. Somebody who encourages you to speak out, to dream bold, to sometimes take a leap of faith, and has somebody who's telling you, yes, new beginnings are maybe not always the most stable thing to do, but they are not irresponsible. Because what I get is that you have this notion that taking opportunities which are not very easy to analyze or to predict, etc., or where you cannot make such a precise prognosis of things or estimations about your ability to tackle them, I feel that this is what makes you feel irresponsible about things, because in fact, I feel you carry a lot of responsibility, a lot of that. But I feel like this is more on the material plane of things. And then when it comes to the emotional plane of things, I feel this is where you kind of have this growing to do still. But I think you overall, group number 3, your life path is looking very, very blissful, very harmonious, very well provided, to be honest. And also, in a way, I think that also sometimes things for you happen in the way they do. They happen in the way they do because, in fact, I think you are meant to be somebody who provides and creates stability for other people. You are kind of a born nourisher. You have a talent for that. You have a talent to recognize the need, and you have a good affinity for handling also just physically. Honestly, let me tell you that I think physically you have an affinity to handle money and resource very well. But on the other hand, of course, still we have, here also with the 2 of Wands being in a position of what is the major influence of higher power in your life, which is like not in your control, but what is a clear influence that is having a huge impact on your life. And here with the Ace of Wands being reversed in like current situation. And I feel this is like a back and forth thing. I feel like this also might be something that is returning to you, like a returning offer or a returning opportunity for some of you that already has been presented to you once or twice even, and just is returning again. And kind of always, now and then it kind of appears, and then you toy and eye with it, and then you let it slip away, and then it appears again. I feel like for you, you are meant to also not only provide for others, but also take a community or take you and your life and what you have built onto a new lane, onto a place which will outdo the baseline and the foundations that you grew on. Because the 2 of Wands for me, also in the very traditional depiction of the tarot, for instance, very clearly talk to me about outdoing the legacy that we were left on. It's like the legacy is all good, but we want to go beyond that. We want to build on top of that. And I feel for that, group number 3, you need at some point kind of figure out that emotional stability aspect. And yes, group number 3, let's just see what advice we can get with the Elemental Power Tarot deck for you, how you can align with your higher purpose there, with your life path best. What is current advice that you need to hear? What is current advice that they need to hear? Group number 3. Advice for following their life path, following their life purpose. So we have it here. We have death. We have death, which talks about transformation. And this is what I mean. I feel like for you it is important and it is key to realize that transformation in death is not only the destruction of things, it also means making place for something new, for a rebirth. And in order to create something that hasn't been there before, you sometimes need to not even tear that down. It's not about that, but this card can apply, both to, yes, tearing things down on the outside, but it also sometimes means tearing down our emotional setup, tearing that down and making place for a new one. So, and also in this card you can clearly see like the symbolism of the bee appearing here on the flag, and you have, and interesting because bees for me, they always are connected with this swarm ideology and like social environments and hives, and like this is kind of for me resonating with the Three of Cups here with you that are reversed. I feel like you maybe need to let go of particular aspects that are about how you feel in the public eye or how you feel you are perceived, like something with that, like perception in society. I get that is somehow for lots of you a very major topic. But you also can see in this card clearly, like here, this burned and dead soil has made place for new life to bloom and to blossom. So let's just now look into the guiding book that comes with it as well, because I feel that this deck comes with some inspiring text here in the guidebook. And release the burden you have been carrying and walk lightly into a new era. A charred field lies before you, smoke still rising from smoldering debris. You try to make out what was once here, but it's impossible. A flag has been planted in the ground, bearing a bee and crossbones, symbols of death and renewal. You notice that there are already green shoots pushing up to bring new life to this decimated landscape. Guidance in this card is that it is time to release what is no longer serving your highest good. Everything in life is impermanent. We accept this easily in some instances, the death of leaves in the fall, the wearing out of clothes and cars, but in others it presents painful difficulty. Be gentle with yourself. If you are uncertain what it is you need to let go of, simply ask the earth and the universe to remove it for you. Take long baths with sea salt and visualize the unneeded energy pulled from you as you rise out of the water. Stand barefoot on the grass and feel the pull of the earth, relieving you of your excess energetic weight. Let go. And the challenging aspect here is you may come up against significant internal resistance to this process. This is normal. Contemporary culture has taught us that more is more. It is a major shift to see giving something up as a desirable act. So yeah, group number 3, I feel this is a nice addition and closing for your reading, and very, very interesting. Very interesting, and I enjoyed this to bits because it is such an interesting combination of very blessed and warm energy and courage and potential and wealth. And on the other hand, how we can embrace transformation from that place, which is not a place of need, of devastation, of sadness, but it's a place where we confidently decide what serves us and what doesn't. So I feel that for you, embracing that energy is going to be very beneficial for boosting your pursuit of your life path that you're on. So group number 3, thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and see you in the next video. Bye! So hello and welcome to your reading, group number 4. So I'm very excited for today's Timeless Life Path reading. It's the very first Timeless reading on this channel. For you, I feel like using the Druid Tarot today for this reading. And very, very interesting. So the timeless reading, it means that whenever you find this video or it finds you and you end up here, is just the right time to receive the information in this reading. So let's see, group number 4, what is going on with you? Trying to tap into your energy right now a little bit more, giving the cards another good shuffle, though I did shuffle them already before quite well. But let's see. I get a very calm energy with you, group number 4. Also very, very directed towards yourself and creative expression somehow, I get also. Like a very creative atmosphere already here. So let's see. So and I'm very, very excited for this format. Like, let me know in the comments below also how things resonate with you and how they unfold, because it's a general reading, and if you feel comfortable to share some personal stories or fragments where it clicked. You know, it's very interesting for me. And if you feel safe and good doing that, I would appreciate that a lot. So back of the deck is Queen of Wands. Yeah, this is what I also get, especially in this deck. She radiates a lot of confidence, a very, very confident attitude here expressed in the card. Very beautiful. So let's see what lies here. So we have Death reversed here, we have Six of Wands reversed here, and we have the Two of Pentacles here in the middle. Could it be that you are also resisting to change in a way currently? Honestly, group number 4, I get that you have maybe... Interesting, you might have just stranded in a very comfortable place currently, you know? But I feel that the legacy of you clinging even, I feel, to it so much, or sinking in it so deeply that it's very hard to uproot you from there. I feel that comes from a past that is one that gave you a lot of new beginnings, of choices that you needed to make, and some of them maybe also led to you not feeling very victorious and not very recognized. And you now have that recognition finally, in a way. You have it. You have it, and let's just see if... We have Capricorn, North Node, and second house. Yeah, it might also relate to material things, you know. But the thing is that I feel you are somebody who is destined to be somebody very inspiring to people. And I get that very, very clearly with you. Like somebody who is also, when it also comes to your ambitions and to your kind of major drive for things, I feel that you go very deep in there, and you aim very high, I feel. And also with working career, I feel like you might have not decided yet what it is, but let me see, what are the areas where you are, you know, where you have the most... I feel you are very gifted in matters where it comes to inspiring others somehow. Unlocking their creativity. Unlocking their creativity is something that I feel you can do very well. Let me see again. I have Sagittarius and 12th and South Node. Interesting. Like group number 4, I get with you, you kind of might have always limboed between some sort of exploration and pursuit and a very extroverted nature, and then on the other hand being settled and finding responsibility and finding a place where you are satisfied with what you create and what you put out there. And I feel that this limboing kind of continues on. You might have even settled in that. You might have even settled in that and grown passive in there, you know? And maybe this is also kind of the energy that I kind of caught on previously. It's almost stagnant. Now as I look onto the cards, it's almost stagnant in a way. And the thing is that I feel for you, it is about, you are somebody who, also here with the Six of Pentacles reversed in that place, which talks about karmic topics, I feel like you are somebody who is on a constant challenge of kind of both being on the receiving and the giving end when it comes to material things and resources. And I feel that that is something that has been also wearing on you, because especially in our society, we perceive very much sometimes stability equals what we accumulate in the material way of life. So what in the material plane, you know, what would that, as more as we have there, the more stable we are and the more grounded we are, which though isn't necessarily the truth. That's the thing, because this perception and notion of grounding comes from a different place. Yes, money is important. I get that, but on the other hand also, I think you are constantly thrown into positions which put you sometimes into lack of material resource in order for you to recognize what other resources you have and how you can, like how that is not the most important part, and to kind of nudge you into the direction of your other gifts, which I think you are somebody who is very, very much a people's person. You are, I think, somebody who can be very entertaining. I think you are also somebody, I feel like delivering messages, maybe even a comedic way or something. Like, do you have Sagittarius placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus? Like, I get that is something you are talented in that. You are talented, I think, also in like creative expression, as I got before. Somehow, like, let me now get some more on that, because I feel like you have really this confusion kind of going on here. Though it came out. We have the Two of Wands here, interesting. And in reverse. Yeah, see, like hesitation to... Also, you might have had maybe the thing that like maybe your parents, or maybe like your ancestors, maybe your family comes from a place which is like very... like that they have achieved a lot also materially in a way, and that puts some sort of pressure on you, or that like the achievements there were quite impressive from the public's perspective, and you feel that puts some pressure on you. That might be the case for some of you. Let me see. Gifts. Yeah, you... Overbearers. Yeah, trying kind of grinding into the direction that doesn't serve you actually, and... Or not necessarily. I think that kind of is a yes to what I said earlier with the public eye thing, the achievements of your parents or your family, and I think that burdening you. I think that's a thing. Seven of Pence. So what are the gifts? What are the gifts for group number 4? What are the gifts? What are the gifts? Where are group number 4 gifted? Where are group number 4 gifted? Where are group number 4 gifted? And we have 10 of Pentacles here. In reverse. Yeah, honestly, I think that for you, it's very interesting, because what I clearly get, I think, by now is that most of you probably have the situation, as I described previously, that you have some sort of pressure applied by your family, like in monetary perspective. Maybe also it means that you need to provide, for some of you, maybe you need to provide for your parents or for your family, but I kind of get like the family that you were born into, not the family that you created necessarily. So, and I also get that those of you who chose this group, you might not, most likely you are not married or in a partnership currently. You most likely, I think you are. And you are actually searching for it. You are searching for it, and I think you... And maybe some of you even say that might change things for you in life, and that you might then shift your perspective once you do that. But honestly, what I think where your gifts are, even though you are maybe denying that or not liking that because of the kind of the impact that this pressuring aspect has on you, I think you are skilled and gifted when it comes to money, when it comes to property. I think you have that. And also the other thing is that if it is the way that you are being supported or supplied materially and backed up by a legacy of your parents or your family, I think that sooner or later life is kind of is going to give you that nudge and like put you over the edge where you need to get into your own lane with that. If you are the one supporting and supplying, I think, then most likely the thing is that you first need to really establish yourself, and independently, without being kind of in that feeling of need to supply others, put yourself first and kind of, you know, center your life around yourself, get into that position where you truly can focus on a life that is centered around yourself, not providing or supplying others. And I feel what is a profession that like combines. I feel also what might be like stock comes into my mind for a very like weird reason, but something which requires quick action in handling property or handling money. I feel that this is something where you actually are good at. But I get also that you are not very much liking it. You are not very in favor of that. And I get also that there are very like different individual strands to this. And I think that you, just from the nature of your emotion, it takes for you a lot of trust, and you can be very sharing and very open about things with a person that you trust. You can, but I get that that is not very often in life the case. So I think that also kind of lays in a way heavy on you. But with the Queen of Swords, by the way, in that position, I feel that you have also, you know, you have a talent for communication, for, in a way, also diplomacy. I feel that you have the potential to have a very good career when it comes to diplomatic things, but it's something where you still need to evolve a lot, I think, and where you need to shift your focus entirely. But I think you have a particular talent for diplomacy, for anything that requires quick action with, as I said, property, money, or important relationships, and requires quick action and the right move, but quickly. So I think that you have that, definitely. You have that somewhere in your potential, but I somehow get this energy that is very stagnant and refusing to enter this, because you feel like that is not yours. That is not yours. You don't want that, because that has been the thing that your father or mother or grandparents have done already, and you want to break out of that pattern. And the thing is that sometimes the best way to break out of a pattern is first to really find your place in there, and then transform it, make a pivot, bring it to a different direction. Also with the Two of Wands here, you know, the Two of Wands speak of outdoing our the ones who came before us, our fathers and mothers, like especially our fathers, kind of, you know, what has been established, and outdoing that and building on top of that. And I feel that that will require work and endurance, and also executing action that isn't pleasant to you. I get that also. But overall, I feel you have an inclination for this somehow, and very interesting. What advice I would love to give you, like, is really that just don't resist that flow so much. Don't resist it so much, because I think, even though you might think that this is not exciting and this is something where you just continue feeding a pattern or something that has not been yours, I feel that actually you might be surprised how much of pleasure and change and possibilities you might find in that. So let's now see and pull an advice card from the Elemental Power Tarot deck, group number 4. How you can tap into your life tap, how you can align with your life path currently. What can you do to align with your life path? What can they do to align with their life path? So let me just... So what can group number 4 do to align with their life path? Okay. Almost here, almost refusing, you know, almost refusing to to see what might be the things. Stubbornness in some sense too. Let me see, why do I get like such an Aries vibe here, though we don't have like any very Aries denoting things here. Aquarius, okay, Aquarius 11th and Uranus. Okay, that also rings a bell. Yeah, I get kind of something very rebellious here. I get something very rebellious, and you might have all the placements that came out previously, so Capricorn, Sagittarius, or Aquarius, you might have that in your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. And I also get like fire sign energies somewhere here too. We get Death. Interesting. That card also came out for a previous group. So, you know, as I said, letting go of a set perception and set ways. Let me see. Let me see in which direction. Clarify the Death card. So, let's clarify the Death card. Please clarify the Death card. The Sun, okay. So I really, honestly, group number 4, I think that for you it is... I think that some of you have accumulated truly a lot of resentment towards something, like towards this topic here. And it's a general reading, we cannot go down in the individual details here, unfortunately, but the thing is that I feel like you need to once and for all kind of let that accumulation of things go and die, to make place for a new beginning, to make place for a clean slate. And let me just, you know, this card, it talks about also inner resistance you face when you try to let go of something, and where I feel that this is actually something that is also rooted in your mindset. You know, the thing is that kind of in society we often get this vibe that more is more, and this card talks exactly about the opposite, that more in fact isn't more at times. And I think that resonates with most of you who chose this group immensely. But the thing is that this is also something that I feel you are urged to, in this reading, urged to practice on yourself as well. Yes, all these experiences, all these ideas, all these emotions, all these maybe even bruises from the past that have accumulated. Not all of that is good, and not all of that is good to keep, because it's standing in your own way, and it's preventing you from having your own experience with something which actually is neutral if you strip away the legacy of maybe your family there, or other experiences that you had with a previous job or occupation in that field. If you strip that down and strip that away, you are left with a plain, simple thing, like only that one thing, without any judgment or without any coloration of the situation or the nature of it. You know, it's not bad, it's not good, there is nothing accumulated around it, and you can have a clean slate and a fresh experience with it. But holding on to your old experiences in a particular thing is preventing you exactly from that. So I feel that is something that you needed to hear. And let me just check with the Sun card. You know, the thing is, once you, even the imagery is like, you know, once we have kind of wiped things here, we are able to start over here again and freshly and anew, and find a new direction here. And also the desert, just symbolically, also in a lot of religious texts and stories from across different religions in the world, you have the desert always being the place, and also philosophically it's perceived as a place where nothing else exists, and we are truly pushed to face ourselves alone. And usually the deserts are where, you know, the holy appearances happen, where the epiphanies happen with people. This is the place where we are kind of stripped of everything else that is filling our life. Even life, like even plants and animals are tiny and hidden and camouflaged there. And the desert is usually kind of the place where we are faced with everything we carry within ourselves, and we are able to select which way we want to go, what seeds we want to plant, and which seeds, you know, have been stored out of their use and out of their time and can be discarded. Or sometimes it's also about having only that one seed and now, you know, finding out what it is about to deliver, what will grow out of that. So let's just head into the guiding text with this deck, because with this deck there comes a lot of inspiring imagery and also text with it. So let's see. It is the season of growth. Believe what your eyes tell you. Nothing is hidden from view. You come to an oasis in the desert. The heat of the sun, once unbearable, now seems softer. Sitting beneath a lemon tree and sunflowers that somehow make this place their home, you drink and rest. As your strength returns, you look out over the landscape, taking in all that is before you and planning your next steps. The answer you seek is right before your eyes. If there is someone in your life whose intentions have been hard to read, step back from trying to discern some hidden meaning and look at their words and actions. Similarly, if there's a situation that has been confusing, look at the nuts and bolts. If it were a math problem, what would the visible factors add up to? It's not that people and situations can't or won't change. It's just that you need to focus on what you can grow right now, with this energy smiling down on you. Spend your time and resources where there is most potential here and now. If others aren't prepared to come along, they can catch up when they are ready. And the challenge about this card is there are some things we'd rather not see. Accept them for the gift they are and look for how the information allows you to grow in ways you could not before when you believed in the illusion. Very interesting, and I feel this adds up to this reading very, very much. So I think it's a nice way to close this and maybe give you some encouraging words with this. Because, as I said, I just think that a lot of great things can be ahead of you once you let go of this debris and this old perception or experience with things. And if you truly can kind of cut a clean slate there and enter this mindset here with the Sun card that I also read now to you. So group number 4, thank you so much for tuning into this reading, and I wish you all the strength you need during this journey, and also the ability to give yourself a break and a breather when you need to recharge. So thank you, and see you in the next video. Bye!